I made one comment about being gay in a British React, and to this very day, it's still like the highest search term if typing SaberSpark into Google.
What?
The rumor does come out. Is SaberSpark gay?
Oh wait, I guess it went away. Because now it's Leo the Lion.
Now you brought it back. Congratulations.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Audience, we make a hashtag #GaberSpark?
Oh. Well, this
That's
is one way. This is one way to get guests not to return to the show. But yeah, let's use the time as long as we still have him around and say hello and welcome to the AWKWARDCast. ANY and Keyframe wonder about random drivel. And today with us, our fellow cartoon overthinker, SaberSpark. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Glad having you. For those of out there not familiar with you, who are you? What do you do? What can people make out of you?
A man out of me. No, I do cartoon reviews. I talk about like bad animations, talk about, I guess, different genres, movies in particular, whether they're good or bad. Occasional top 10 lists. I just kind of talk about animation. That's my thing.
Yep, sounds like a good wrap up of everything. Why you are basically have the word. What's going on in your life? What are you up to recently? Any fun anecdotes to share with us folks here?
Sure. Some users invited me onto a podcast.
Yeah, some nerds thought they were cool enough to hang out with me. No, so basically, I've been working on some videos for the end of the month because I'm going to be going to a convention here called MomoCon in Atlanta. And so I have to get ready for that. So currently, I'm working on I'm working on a review of a series called Private Snafu, which are these World War II training videos for soldiers. And they were specifically for soldiers, American soldiers, because some of these guys were illiterate, so they couldn't read pamphlets. It proved to be difficult to get them up to speed and teach them, like, this is how you maintain your weapons. This is how you do this and that. So you have folks like Bob Clampett, Chuck Jones, Dr. Seuss worked on the series. Mel Blanc did some voice acting, and it was a way to educate soldiers and inform them about just proper care and information and whatnot. So I feel like it's a very well-kept secret that I finally want to cover. And it's, again, was only for the military. Like, it wasn't aired in movie theaters at the time. And the best part is, since it was strictly for the military, it didn't have to follow any production codes. So that meant they can cuss. There are a lot of topless girls. The humor is a lot more raunchy because it's for soldiers, so they can go all out. It's really interesting.
Wasn't there a Private Snafu short where it was like, don't be a snitch or something, or don't share army secrets, and one of the girls had like a recording device in her boobs?
Yeah. That was they do it a lot because they had one with Spies where they did that. And they also had one called Booby Traps where like he's like feeling up this girl, and under her shirt are these 2 ticking time bombs, and it's like wonderful. I love it.
I actually believe I saw some of them at some point. Or did you actually make a video about them in the past?
I'm sorry?
Did you make a video about them in the past? Because I believe I have seen videos of him.
I briefly mentioned it in I did a top 10 propaganda cartoon video. I briefly mentioned it because it doesn't really fit the. I mean, I guess you could call it propaganda, though. I look at it more as like just education videos for soldiers, though it does have propaganda.
Probably transitions over it smoothly. And I believe this is also where this one came from, isn't it?
Private Snafu?
No, the Fortnite tweet you made.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was from an episode. It was actually a really weird one because it's called Chowhound, and what happens in the episode is this bull is narrating, talking about his life and how he got married. He's about to walk over the threshold and basically, bang his wife. And then he hears trumpets and the sounds of chatter. And I guess the war had begun for Americans. He's like, I have to do my part. So he goes to a slaughterhouse, kills himself to provide food for soldiers. And then the entire episode is the food arriving in the truck trying to get to the front lines. And of course, Snafu, being the fuck up that he is, he took a lot of food and then he didn't eat it. And the bull's like, what the hell? So yeah, but when I saw that scene, I'm like, it's Fortnite. They're building stuff.
Okay, guys, we need to start another war so we can make the 2.0 version of the private snafus.
It'll probably be like
I'm
super
afraid.
depressing. It's more like how to survive a nuclear fallout or something.
No, get Pymations and people to make the videos.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's interesting. The next thing I'm going to be doing after that, I'm really excited about this, is I'm going to do a review of Totally Spies. Because
No.
Oh, yeah.
Which one? I grew up with Totally Spies, and
Well, I mean, so I did some research, and some of the folks on Co actually like combined a list of all the different fetishes, and I guess this is the part where you have to kind of pause and at least look around, because you have to ask yourself, was this on purpose? Did the show writers and the creators want to did they have some kind of fetishes of their own that they want to put in the show? I don't know. You really can't do that, because then because you can say, well, they disguise their fetishes as jokes and plot and whatever. And then you can go, well, or maybe not. Maybe it's just folks just being weird. Like, not everything has to be a fetish. Maybe you might perceive it that way, but it's not really. But there is a lot of stuff where it's like, it's very specific.
The furry episode had to be. It could not.
There is a furry episode?
They have like this beam that turns everyone into ants. I think they only turn them into cat people, if I remember correctly. But like one of the blonde spy turns into a cat person, and they're like, we gotta stop him. And then keep in mind, this girl's the most annoying girl in the show besides the bully, and she's just like, yeah, but can we stop? I'm totally craving a saucer of milk, and I'm like, stop ruining furries.
There's
I watched this show, but I must have missed that one. Sorry, continue.
No. It's I mean, they have things like foot fetishes, giant stuff,
inflation.
Yes.
I don't
slave
know what to
stuff.
categorize I don't know what to categorize your clip as besides bimboification.
Yeah, they have that also where they have gosh, I remember that comic where someone's like, wow, I can't believe this, and then someone's like, I made this because it was a fetish that somebody wanted me to commission for. It wasn't some political statement. It's just a fetish thing.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on Philip DeFranco, and he was just like, I'm so uncomfortable doing this story because I don't get this fetish.
I mean, that's the majority of fetishes. Like, the only thing I get about fetishes is like, teach their own. As long as no one's getting hurt and it's all consensual. That's all I care about.
Look, some people are into getting hurt.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? That is true. As long as it's consensual. Let's just say that. All right.
Yeah.
And no one's getting involuntarily hurt.
But yeah, you've been researching Totally Spies for research.
For research purposes, yeah. I'm excited, and I'm already like preparing myself to get demonetized by YouTube because it's a Christian website. Let's be real with ourselves.
This is a Christian Minecraft server. No cursing.
Hey, get out of here. You're battling.
Recently nuking all educational channels about which include weed. Yes, like completely nuking them, no matter how big. Like, wow. But yeah, anything else besides media production and conventions going on in your life recently?
Not really. I'm just I live in a college town, and all the college kids are leaving right now because their graduation's over and summer mode, and the town kind of becomes a ghost town, which I absolutely love because traffic is easy now.
I can imagine.
I was so angry because last night I made a mistake. I decided to drive downtown through Main Street, which is where the college kids all hang out, and it was really bad because they were just out in droves, and I was driving down the street and I had a green light, and all these kids were crossing the street, and I'm like, not children, but college kids. And I'm like, guys, you don't have the sign. I'm supposed to be driving. I could hit you. And it went on for
toddlers.
These babies. No. And I became an old man, and I'm like, yeah. And I was so tempted to roll down my window and go your degree's worthless. It means nothing. But I realized that I'd look in the mirror and start crying myself, realizing I'm just as,
This is what happens when you're a theater major.
Political science, what was I thinking?
You got a BA in English? Can you get a BA in running away from my car?
What do you do with a BA in English? How does it go?
That was not even close to the melody.
But
wow.
Okay, do it better.
What do you do with a BA in English?
If you were gay, that would be okay.
Anyway, so can I move on to my week?
Yes, absolutely. What is going on in your life right now?
Let's see what's been going. Well, for one thing, I don't spend money oftenly. I like to preface this with that. I work from home. I don't have very.
I predict she will stand up in a bit, but please continue.
I don't have very expensive tastes. I barely go to the cinema because I don't have friends. Well, my friends that I have are not in distance.
And the other ones live with you in the same place.
Yes, so they become progressively less friends as time goes on. And that includes Golden Fox.
Oh boy!
I'm kidding. This is my sense of humor. But the few times that I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna buy something for myself, and it's something that all my friends judge me on, but it was the best $20 I ever spent. I bought a Lucio crop top that was custom ordered, and I'm so happy I bought it. I have worn this shirt every other day for the past few days. It's so comfy though. Like I just kind of wear it. I mean, I wear it to work out and I wear it around the house, and I wore it to Infinity War, and someone in the theater was like, "Hey, Lucio," and I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, and another part of my mind is, "Why are you looking there?" But I was like, "Yeah."
That's when you wall surf out of there.
I mean, come on.
Let's break it down.
If you print an eye catcher right there on your titty, so people are looking.
Well, why do you think the camera is pointed this way? But yeah. Speaking of which, I'm not going to include this in my media because if you guys want to hear a majority of what people thought about Infinity War, or at least one of the hosts here. Go on this YouTube channel and watch ANY and Yuri's spoiler-filled discussion about Infinity War, which apparently was all he needed because I tried talking about Infinity War while we were playing Heroes of the Storm yesterday, and he got annoyed. And I'm like, I just saw it!
I got annoyed by the fact that everybody talked about Infinity War and nobody played anymore.
We were winning.
Yet, still.
Sorry, but anyway... my quick thoughts on Infinity War without spoilers, because now I know what people meant when they say you can't talk about this without spoilers. I will just tell you the reactions of everyone around me. Peter Dinklage. That was the first thing. I heard when Spider-Man first popped up in the movie, Golden was like, "Oh, he's so cute." Because he only saw Civil War before this. He hasn't seen Spider-Man Homecoming, but he's like, and when we were driving to the theater, he's like, "I love this new Spider-Man. He's so good."
Well,
Tom
he
Holland
is.
was a massive improvement.
Absolutely. He is brilliant.
He is a massive improvement. There was always a moment where someone in the group, because it was me, it was Golden Fox, and Kichi, Riley, DeWill Snyder, Katie, and our friend Joey. And featuring our friend Joey, and we were all sitting in the exact same row. There was always a time where someone was like, "No," and everyone had that one. But my favorite moment, there were two moments tied for best, and they were both at the
I don't trust you, Keyframe.
Don't you spoil it. I won't have to Benedict Cumberbatch you where I just go. Have you seen the footage?
No, it's not a spoiler. I'm talking about audience reactions.
Okay, fair enough.
One was the utter silence when the credits came up.
Oh, yeah, that was really great.
And the thing was that I could hear someone crying.
Oh.
It was actually DC.
Yeah.
Oh, DC had sneaked into the movie and was crying about how good it is.
Yeah, it was like this very soft crying, like. But then, you know those blank will return things that are at the end of every Marvel movie?
Yeah.
This one came up, and I just heard someone, all the way in the back of and this is an IMAX theater. We went to the big one. Someone from the back yelling, "Oh, fuck you!" And I was like, well, they were saying what I was thinking.
That's awesome.
But like my own personal reaction was when they had their after credit scene. People know what the after credit scene is and what it announces. I'm not going to say. That was the only moment that there wasn't the veil of silence that was over the theater during the credits. Because when I saw the hero, I was like, yes, because it's one of my favorite Marvel heroes, and I could see my friends looking over at me like, how can you feel any semblance of joy after this? I'm like, but and they're, and then when we left the theater, everyone was like, Katie had to let out just this scream of pain. And then Will kept trying to ruin the movie, being like, you know they're going to come back. They have sequels and everything. I'm like, yes, and you know that they're going to come back in Return of the Jedi, but you still feel bad for Luke and Han. Like, it's that kind of thing. But good movie.
Yeah.
It was GG, good movie. I loved Star-Lord, and now apparently that's a mixed opinion. But I still love him. I stand by my Peter Quill for life, and you can rip that from my cold, dead hands.
He played a very unthankful role. That's true. That's true.
But one more caveat. Apparently, there's a website called Did Thanos Kill .me, and you can find out if you were killed by Thanos.
Oh, lovely.
I lived. I checked that out.
I didn't. I was slain for the good of the universe.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Because you are so borderline dancing on the spoiler edge. I should have kept it up.
Yeah, but anyway, besides that, seeing Infinity War, getting this cool shirt, I bought my tickets for CoxCon, and
so
I'm
did
super excited. Now I just need to buy the plane tickets, but
so do I.
They're kind of imperative on someone's calculations. Not going to say who, because that would be calling someone out, and I'm not that petty.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Next week is the 60-day rule, so. Yeah.
But anyway, we got time. But I can't wait to go. CoxCon sounds like this sounds like a very, even more once in a lifetime than last year's, given certain news with TB. Yeah.
I mean, is TB still going to this one?
I haven't heard any announcement otherwise.
Me neither, but then again, maybe they have.
I mean, why wouldn't? I mean,
traveling.
If he.
Traveling stress?
Well, I mean, if he travels to England, his family lives there, so he could always kill two birds with one. I'm thinking in logic here, and also I have family that lives in England, and the moment I was talking to my mom, and she was like, "So, what trips are you going on during the summer, Miss World Traveler?" That's what all my family calls me now, because I'm the only one not afraid of international flights in my family. I was like, oh, well, the Berlin, England. And she was like, wait, England? I gotta go call your kitty. And suddenly my phone blows up, be like, you're coming to England? We gotta see you. We haven't seen you in years. And I'm like, oh no, I should have kept my mouth shut. Because these are like grandparent generation of like family, so the cheek pinchers of, oh, you've grown up so much, that era of family.
Lovely.
And they were like, we want to meet your friends. I bet they're all so nice. And I'm like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But so those were the big events, and I stayed up till I guess the last big thing. I am back to video editing. I spent all night editing, and it felt so weird to grab the keyframe pony vectors out of the Ark of the Covenant and put them into an editing program and be like, it's time. And it's an episode of the Ask series and everything, and I'm bumbling through learning how to use Premiere. It was great to use a new editing software while drunk. That was smart.
Sounds like a solid plan.
Is it intuitive, Premiere? I've been meaning to try it.
It's actually, there's a lot of stuff that I found intuitive about it, like especially when you have the avatar that changes expressions, with the fact that I could just take one vector, extend it out to the timeline of how long I know the character is going to be on screen, and then just since you're the person that has the vision, you pick where the audio cue is that you want to change the emotion, split it all up, and then you could just do replace from bin and replace them with the expression, and they're in the same frame setting and everything, and you don't have to manually put it all in. It actually is intuitive, and I kind of like it, being someone who edited with Sony Vegas since I started making videos.
It was easier.
I would say once you learn Premiere, it's actually very easy. It's streamlined. That's just the thing.
I guess
it has everything Vegas has, but it's streamlined.
I mean, Adobe really makes pretty good products, and they have years of experience pushed into it. And since, due to the fact that it is not free available, but only commercial, that's how they finance all the improvements in research.
Also, my friend, Dragon Fox Girl, great artist. She saw the tweet that I put up of me editing, and she sent this voice message to me
boy.
Let's see if it plays.
What's it gonna do? What's it gonna be? Can I get the deets? I've never said that in my life. Never doing that again.
If you don't know what she said, because she has a very thick accent, she's like, "Dude, Tall Horse is back." But it's so hype, I guess. And then I also was playing Heroes. I was like okay, you have to edit this much of the video, and then you can go play Heroes. And I kind of went up at least like 5 levels by myself by playing by myself on Elite all night. So that was my week. How are you, Max?
What's going on in my week? Not too much, to be honest. Plans to the move continue, but it's still all completely in the open because we still have not asked Yuri's landlord if I actually can get his flat. But if I get it, I have by now confined to the idea that all my streaming will happen in this small
closet.
It's a closet, actually. Yes.
Yeah, Yuri said it was a closet.
Which will raise a lot of questions for the backdrop of the AWKWARDCast. So
you know what you should do? You should take a picture of your current background and put the green screen behind you in the closet. Just green screen that as your background.
This is to 80% probability exactly what will happen.
But
or some. I mean, I sit in front of the green screen, so I will probably use it. The question is still, what will I put behind me?
I do have a question. Is apartment stuff like here in America where you have to make a certain amount over the rent? Because here you have to make like 2.5 times the rent as your monthly income.
I have no idea what the rule of thumb for that is.
Because the thing is, if you and Yuri work essentially the same job, you guys should have the income covered. Okay, well, if he could pay for it, you could pay for it.
Yeah.
So I don't see why the landlord wouldn't say yes.
Because maybe he... there is no rational reason. We are pretty sure he will say yes, because if you are a landlord and you have the option like, oh, my renter? What do you call it?
Your tenant.
Yeah, my tenant moves out. I now have the option to pay a marketer to get somebody new into the flat, go to the trouble of finding somebody and selecting them, or I go by the recommendation of my previous tenant who gave me all the paperwork, and all he asked for is that they can make the switch even sooner. I mean, as long as there are no specific renovations or use it for yourself plans, they will say yes, but I don't have a signature, so I cannot quit this one here.
It just sounds like it sounds like a clip from Adventure Time where Jake has to choose any weapon to fight this demon, and he's like, I choose sandwich. Like, if they don't pick you, that sounds very dumb.
He always gets sandwiches, though. He always wishes for sandwiches, and he always gets those wishes. It's wonderful.
That's true.
Then, of course, as I predicted last week on the AWKWARDcast, during the week, I watched Aggretsuko.
Yes, you did. Now tell me, how was
good.
the show that you gave up after 5 minutes of watching the first time?
Wait, why did you give up?
Because the first 4 minutes were so cringy with her doing the whip, whip, the dance of trying to distract the deer from her shoes and everything. And I was like, I see it's the current hype on the internet, but I don't feel it. And then this one over there, came to the show last week and brought it as a media, and I was like, fine, I will check it out this week. And then I
It's
binged.
so good.
I know, it's so amazing.
Oh, she was right.
and the thing is, people call it the Hello Kitty for adult people, but did you guys know it actually is from the makers of Hello Kitty?
Yes,
That's,
it's made by
the
Scenario, which is
Yeah.
the Hello Kitty people.
Yeah, it's literally the same people, and I mean, in hindsight, you look at the style and you are like, duh. But yeah, pretty amazing show. I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much.
Hadia is a good boy. Hadia is a good boy who deserves better.
But yeah, I'm actually I was asked for favorite character, and I would say the Secretary Bird.
Oh no, the
what's
Secretary
your name?
Bird's great, but if you want to say who's the best boy, it's Hadia.
There are not too many male characters in there, are there? I mean, Hadia doesn't really have any competition. That's a little bit like playing with the net down. Who is supposed the male red panda, the pig, the elephant?
Space Cadet. My favorite character was, funny enough, besides Aggretsuko, I like Director Tone, the pig. Now, not because of what he represents, but he's a great character for Retsuko and the rest of the basically the employees to work off of.
Oh god, and the last episode or the last 2 episodes, he turned such a great character because he suddenly get from this one-note hateable antagonist, he turns into a 3-dimensional so great.
He's not like he's a product of his time. I mean, I actually prefer the English dub compared to the subs. That's just me. But to see him during that scene where like Retsuko and him were having a drink and he's kind of opening up a bit.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, cool, character development. And he goes right back to being an asshole, which, he is an asshole. He's a sexist asshole. But at the end, him working as a team and kind of getting her out of that funk. It's interesting because all these other characters couldn't really do it. It took Director Tone, a guy that she looks up to kind of weirdly enough, in a way, snapped her out of it. Begrudgingly. Like, she hates him, but she's like, but she still wants his admiration.
But also
you can't lie that he's not good at his job.
He earned his place. That's the thing. You see, when it really matters, he could push through, and he was pretty good at it.
Funny enough,
my
buddy Final Draft, Mike Bernstein, he lives in Japan. He is he's an American who moved over there to teach in the Japanese school, and it's so interesting hearing his stories about what Japan is like, because there's like the perceived notion of Japan is this high-tech society. They always have computers and there's like leaps and bounds ahead of us with their technology. This is not true in every regard. He said that they're still very much so a paper-bound culture where they don't really use computers the way that we do. Americans are a lot more digital and Europeans are a lot more digital, while Japanese, they still love their paper. And you see that in the show with stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of paper. You also see it with their work ethic, because Japanese are a people who, when they're collectively on the same page, they can knock it out of the park. That's why there's like almost like no violence over there and no pollution. But it was a two-way road where also it's very conservative and sexist, and that's why they have a very much so a work harder, not smarter policy. Because when my buddy's like, well, why don't you guys just do a flash drive or whatever to take these paper, why are you all using so much paper? They're like, well, it's just the way it is. Just stop asking questions.
Oh, that's kind of sad, given how much innovation comes out of this country on the tech level, but then the rest is like, weird. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like Aggretsuko. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so.
I knew, as I predicted last week, exactly as it happened. I checked it out this week. I binge watched it with Denim, and here I am loving this show. So,
Good.
But yeah, what else did I do this week? Perfect segue into my medium. Let's see where this pops up. Plop, no, this is on top of me. This is still on top of me. What the hell? Okay, let me move this over here. Whoop. Wait, why is it there twice now? God damn it.
Your freaking obsession now.
Yeah, once again, I bring the newest, the hottest shit to the show that nobody else has heard before. I'm an early adopter. So after early adopting Aggretsuko as the last person on the planet, I also now checked out, finally, StarCraft 2.
Wait, you've never played StarCraft 2 before?
Nope.
What's wrong with you?
I know,
Did
right?
you play like the entire thing with like multiplayer in the campaign?
Campaign. I'm pretty much a solo player. I mean, with HOTS and Overwatch, it's pretty unique to me that I actually got into playing with people. But I'm a pretty dedicated single player, simply due to the fact that I can do it on my own time. It's not competitive. I can just
doesn't have to communicate with people.
Yeah, and then I started streaming, and now I have to communicate with my chat. I'm doing stuff wrong in my life. I have a lot of weird decision to answer for. But yeah, I finally got into it. I'm 3/4 through the Terran campaign, and I believe all campaigns are now available, aren't they, for free?
Yeah, the Zerg campaign's the best by a long shot in my
Probably.
opinion. I played it over and over and over and over again. It's so good.
Yeah, but yeah, currently playing the campaign, and what I have to say about it, I mean, I played good old StarCraft. I believe I've played it, including Broad Wars, all the way through at least 3 times during my school and college days. Then I tried it again recently when StarCraft became available for free, and I realized how time consuming this fucking game is. This is a grinder, oh god.
Yep.
But yeah, here's something that I want to say about StarCraft 2. I mean, first of all, the story, it has the usual kind of cheesy video game writing, but still very intriguing. It's Blizzard. Blizzard knows how to tell a story. They don't write Citizen Kane, but the scientist lady, wow, she had some lines like, "Oh my god, this is so horrible. I'm so thankful you told me." They're like, wow, was this bad? But most of the characters actually put enough acting into it, and even though the writing is not top notch, it's still entertaining, gets you in the mood, and you feel like, with Raynor and Tychus being all badass and shit.
It's cheesy.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, if you compare it, for example, to Red Alert, to the Red Alert series, where they basically gave up and put the cheesiness to 11, because before that they were cheesy but could pull it off and were just ridiculous cheesy. Then they were like, okay, let's go the ridiculous route. Blizzard makes it to be cheesy but still get across the badass. This is impressive, indeed. I'm really like pumped when I play this. And I have to say, the illusion of RPG elements, They keep you intrigued. Like when you between missions, when you can go chat with people, you can see where you put your credits if you skill this now or this. I mean, it's not really RPG, but it has a little bit of a I craft my own path feeling to it, just enough to not scare off the hardcore real-time players, RTS players, but enough to get an old RPG fan as me like, oh yes, this is fun, I like it, yeah, I buy now an upgrade for the tank. And you can actually, I mean, depending on you, because the resources are limited, and especially in the actual research, you have to always pick between 2 skills. You actually can form your setup to your own playstyle, which I would say pretty amazing. And as I take it, it's for free right now. So if anybody out there is even more behind the times than I am and has not yet at least tried StarCraft 2, go to Battle.net, install it, get fucking StarCraft 2 for free and HOTS while you're on it as well, and play this shit. It's good. And with this, I pass on to the next person.
Are we just going counterclockwise?
We can go counterclockwise.
So that would be me.
Oh, that would be you. Okay. Oop.
I mean, counterclockwise in how we turns, you know, so.
Yeah.
You go and then I blah, blah, blah. Anyway, my media, because I didn't want to talk about Infinity War in my media, and I don't watch anything else besides reruns of Mortal Oral. So, but I did watch something new.
Oh my god, what might it be? It's not loading for reasons.
It's a web animated series of short films that is called the Vampair series, done by, I always get her name wrong, Daria Doran. And it's currently 3 parts. She's working on the next chapter, and it's about this vampire who, there's this girl and he is trying to, in the first short, he's trying to seduce her by, kind of seduce her, of being like, I'm going to chase you around and be threatening. And every time that this character is singing, because they're all music videos, it's Voltaire.
Interesting.
And this one uses the song The Night. The second chapter one uses The Land of the Dead. And then the third chapter, which has this girl singing, the girl's name is Missy and the male vampire is Duke. She's doing Fuck You by Lily Allen, and it's great. But there's something about this style that she has where it's,
the animation.
Yeah, very angular, very bouncy, but not like Mystery Skulls where something is bouncing all the time, but there's a flow to her stuff.
Yes.
Which is
it's
very nice.
With the amount of flash animation nowadays, seeing hand-drawn animation without CG or anything has gained its own fascination again.
Yeah, but I love, because you can tell when she uses tweens when it comes to the eyes and the mouth sometimes, but those body movements are so, I just love it, especially with Duke because he's such a spindly creature. I love spindly, lanky people because they can have such strong poses. And I don't know what possessed her to make a character design that she has to animate frame by frame that has hatched mesh on the arm and neck, but your own hell that you made for you, sweetheart. But I love it. And even small details, like Duke is always outlined in red and she's always outlined in purple, so they're always contrasting each other when they interact. And God, I love it. And she's working on a part 3.5, and so there's an actual story to all of it. And it's one of those times where the character designs fit the voice, even though it's like copyrighted music. It's Voltaire. It fits so well that I can't imagine anything else being that character. And apparently Voltaire has at least seen one of them, from what I've heard. Don't confirm it, but I would be. This is just amazing to me, especially like this scene with the dancing and stuff. I totally recommend it. Each one I think has a few million views, but to me, that's too less. There needs to be more. This is such a interesting style that I don't really see much anymore with web animation. And sorry, I just like that face. So go watch it. It's the Vampair series. Just look up The Night animation or Land of the Dead animation, and you'll find it. My personal favorite is The Land of the Dead. Which is the second chapter. But yeah, so go watch them. It's always good to support original web animation. And she has a Patreon, so go also support that because she's an independent animator, and Lord knows we don't make much money.
Yeah, and for those watching on YouTube, link in the description down below.
Yeah, so Saber, what original piece of media do you have to share that's totally not self-serving in any way, shape, or form?
I'm trying to think. Jeez.
I mean, haven't you told me about a while ago about this YouTuber who talks a lot about cartoons and looks into the more obscure stuff? What was his name again?
That me. I have been just plotting the course for future videos. And there's something called Gaither's Pond, which is this fantastic Christian animation where, cause someone mentioned it in a suggestion tweet, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll check it out. And it's this horrible animation. Oh
my lord! I just looked it up.
Yeah, wait, now I need a link because
I mean, I just did a Google image search because that's always better. So here it is in the Skype chat. That's a screenshot from it.
Ooh, this is beautiful.
Well, they emote a lot in the show. It's weird. I actually was crying laughing within the first few minutes because there was a character. He talks like this, and it's he sounds like Mr. Garrison almost. And there's a part where you're like, "What are you doing on your laptop?" He's like, making my blog post. Why? And just the way he reacts so quickly, and they emote his face because his lips and his eyes shoot out of his face. And the best part I still need to watch all of it. It's a series, I was told. They show all the characters at the start and all the voice actors, and all the voice actors and the characters are basically like the same, where it's like, here's the voice actor who's some Christian musician or some kind of country singer, and the character's name is usually a play on the voice actor's name, and they look like the voice actor. So you got like these old lady, like mice, and this big fish, fat looking Christian dude, and it's just hilarious. For some reason, Christian entertainment just churns out some of the worst like CGI or animated cartoon shows, and it's no slight against Christians, but just it's a common theme. I've been noticing this common denominator.
I'm watching it right now. Oh my lord! Why does the duck have an afro? Why
Right?
is the horsefly the size of my hand and has a beard like Seth Rogen? I have so many questions about this right now. I'm scared.
I can't wait to check it out. I'm gonna check it out next month, but it looks hilarious. There's a part where like his face just goes nuts and it looks like the model breaks. It's fantastic.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's a duck with an afro. It's true. It's true. So this is.
His head gets bigger like you use the liquefy tool in After Effects. He looks like a rejected character design from Shark Tale.
He does. No, I'm excited. It looks so dumb and funny. Like whenever he like gets emotes, his face like grows. He's like, the best day ever.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Stop it! It's breaking me.
Wow.
I can't.
But yeah, I take it you have not yet checked this out in detail, or this is an upcoming video on your channel.
It's one of those things of like it's of interest to me, and there's a good chance it'll probably be something I review. I've only watched the first like 2 or 3 minutes, and I had to stop because I was working on something else. But I was like, "Yep, I have to bookmark this. This is hilarious."
But Saber, if someone in this podcast has never watched your stuff before, what would be the video you'd recommend as a good way to introduce people to your brand of videos?
I guess What Ruined Cartoon Network, or What the Hell's Little Lion. I've been doing more of these reviews as of late. Perhaps something like I had a lot of fun making What the Hell's Joshua in the Promised Land. I really enjoyed that one. That was fun. So yeah, I check out those.
Well, there you go, folks. Now you know what to watch, and we'll try to remember to put them in the description.
I'm already putting it down.
Oh,
What
you're actually writing it down this time.
Yeah, What
Good
Ruined
job.
Cartoon Network.
You're learning.
Yeah, or I'm coming back to my roots because I used to do remember this in the good old days all the time.
Yeah, but so let's move on to questions with your good old questions are Keyframe. And yay, we've got more questions. Hooray.
Yes,
Thank you, people.
but also I want to say for the first time, because he tried for a very long time, Yedel to get a question in, but often enough there were no real questions. There were more like statements or very obscure questions that required us to watch, I don't know, entire movies or whatnot. But no, this time around he managed to come up with a actual good question to answer. Who you want to dance with your favorite anime character? So I read it as what anime character would you like to dance with? Or we could also expand the question to what anime character do you think would be awesome to party with? Because this is actually different from favorite character, because I have a lot
of characters that would be real stick in the mud at parties.
Yes, or simply like, nope, I will not survive this dance.
Who would? Does it have to be anime?
The question was anime, but if you really cannot imagine dancing with an anime character,
Well, I can pick an anime character, but I feel like my Western characters would be more entertaining of answers. But
well, if you give us an anime character, then you are allowed to add a Western character as an add-on, as a bonus.
All right. Tie between Spike Spiegel and Space Dandy.
Nice.
Well, Dandy. The both of us, but Space Dandy would probably be more entertaining. But I don't mind with Spike. I imagine that we would be outside of the party, just like hanging out by the brick wall. He's smoking. I'm not, because smoking's bad, kids. And we just be shooting the shit. And that sounds like a lot of fun. But Dandy would be fucking awesome.
He'd be hard to keep up with sometimes, I'd imagine.
I could keep up with anime Johnny Bravo just fine.
Johnny Bravo, ain't that the truth?
And then I guess for Western characters, I would probably party with Amethyst from Steven Universe. That sounds like a good time.
It does.
Or I mean, everyone knows my obvious answers, but I would pick Amethyst from Steven Universe, because that sounds like fun. Or Steven himself. Not exactly
He's a party boy.
We would go to a party, or we would go to Sadie's place and just watch horror movies, and he would hide under the blankets or something. This would Pure Boy. I would hang out with Pure Boy or Purple Girl. So those are my choices.
Saber, what about you?
I'm with you on Amethyst. That'd be fun. I'm not much of a partier. I probably want someone where it's a nice, quiet evening.
You'd hang out with Pearl.
Pearl, yeah, have a cup of tea, hang out with Pearl, maybe something like that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, but
what about you, Trash
Yeah. My problem is that obviously the only anime that comes to mind is anime I have been watching recently, even so there are probably a lot better ideas out there. So basically now I'm trying to figure out which character of My Hero Academia
that's a good one.
would be good for partying. I mean, Deku, I don't see Deku being a party animal, let's face it.
What about Jack? Like the earphone Jack girl.
She could be.
She's awesome, and she deserves love.
And what's with the redhead from 1B, the underappreciated one, which I can't even remember the name of.
Not Vine, the one that can make her hands really big.
Yes. She has a really questionable quirk, but then again, she's
giant hands. I know who you're talking about. I could see the character, but I can't remember her name.
Then again, I can't remember her. But I don't. She's too motherly. She's probably also not the person. Itsuka. Yeah, but she's probably also not really the person for the dance floor. So Jack could be good. That's a good point.
What about the one that can shoot a beam out of his crotch?
Oh God, no! First of all, it's his belly, but no. But yeah.
It looks like a crotch to me, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, Pinky also seems to be a party girl. What about the dudes? I guess the electro guy, Shocky, or whatever his name is. He's good for partying. But yeah.
Minoru would probably want to go on a party, but you wouldn't want to be around him during that party.
The little one with the balls, or...
Yeah, the one that people keep saying has keyframe hair, and I want to punch every time they say it because he's the worst character in the goddamn show.
It's true.
Nina would be a party girl.
But yeah, more questions.
Okay, so yeah, back to questions. From Mr. Joe Mule, this is a question to A and Y.
Oh boy.
Is Mother's Day a thing in Germany?
Yes.
Because today's podcast is on Mother's Days.
Today it is a thing in Germany. It is today. We go even one step beyond, and we have a Father's Day.
Whoa.
Oh, we did. Oh my, how progressive.
Yeah, last Thursday actually. It's actually some kind of national Christian holiday, and then it got adapted. Being like, oh wait, there's no Father's Day. Let's make this day that is a few days before Mother's Day, Father's Day, and so now we officially have a Father's Day and a Mother's Day in Germany.
Isn't Father's Day like after Mother's Day here in the States? I always forget.
Yeah, in the States it's in June or in June or July.
Oh, you have one too.
Yeah, we have one too. They're both greeting card holidays, you know?
Yeah. I wish Father's Day was first. That way I can let my dad down first. And then be okay, Mother's Day. I'll be ready for that one.
Disappointment Day, part 1 and 2.
Well, let's be real. Mother's Day is a lot more, like, commercial than Father's Day. Father's Day is like, oh, my dad just wants to be left alone with the beer. Mother's Day is like, I'll take my mom up for flowers and candy into the restaurant or something. It's just a cultural thing. Because, like, a lot of restaurants... I don't like them either. I'll show my appreciation whenever I want, not on a specific day. It sounds weird. But that being said, for restaurant business, like it gets nuts on Mother's Day. That's like the busiest time of year for a lot of these restaurants. Is on Mother's Day.
I mean, my mom is currently out with my sister eating at a restaurant. I figured out earlier when I tried to call her to wish her a nice Mother's Day, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm already in the restaurant with your sister. Maybe we call after your podcast."
There you go.
I'm with the kid that isn't
my
far
favorite
away
child.
from me. I'm with my favorite, the one that gave me grandkids.
It's true. It's true.
We're doing the opposite here. Brett's parents are like, no, we don't want to go to a restaurant, so they're just having a barbecue. So, hey,
that sounds awesome.
without paying, that's great for me.
True.
But next question. This is an interesting subversion of a question because we've always had questions about what quirk would you have? What superpower would you want? Katrina asks, is there a superpower that you wouldn't ever want to have? Like, what would be the worst superpower because it's you having it kind of thing? I would guess like a runner having an extreme force of gravity, so he would barely be able to run, that kind of thing.
I mean,
for me,
obviously having balls that pop off your head you can throw somewhere. Never getting sick of dissing this guy.
He's such a good punching bag.
Yeah, but honest answer.
Oh, we talking about quirks where there's a drawback to your power?
Yeah.
Or generally a power that sucks.
Yeah, it could be either or.
Like,
some people like going with the Hero Academia rules that there's always a catch, and then some people just go with the powers that suck.
But yeah, for example, Dr. Horrible's sing-along Brock. Dr. Horrible's sidekick, the sweat guy, who is just oozing sweat all the time. That's a really shitty superpower I wouldn't want to have.
I wouldn't want... my power, I can read minds, but whenever I do, it's a 10% chance I'll have a brain aneurysm and die.
Oh,
wow. No. Okay.
The gamble power.
But then again, this is still like the drawback is what makes this actually good power bad. But what would be a power which really just sucks in general, not just because of the drawback?
I can print paper out of my hand, but whenever I get paper cuts.
Okay, now this question has gone from a power you don't want to have to let's come up with the lamest superpowers. Well, I know one thing. I know some people who would want to have the ability to talk to animals or at least understand what animals are saying, but I feel like that would give me a fucking headache if I had it, because I live in an apartment with nothing but not in my apartment, but an apartment complex with nothing but dogs. So I'm gonna walk outside and just hear like, hey, play. And I'll be like, shut up, because I imagine with that kind of power, it's passive. You can't turn it off. But a really lame superpower I would have is like the ability to squirt ink out of my fingers or the pores of my body, and not even like, it's like slidey oil. No, it's just ink.
I like
it's
that.
It's like a squid.
Squidward.
I'm Squidward. My lame superpower is Squidward.
Squidward.
You're pondering, Maximilian.
Yeah, I'm still pondering, but I can't come up with a really good one. A bad one in this particular case.
Katrina brings up a good one, immortality, because you wouldn't be able to die, but you don't have a healing factor, so you would just constantly be getting hurt.
And by immortality is eventually you're gonna die. I mean, if you're gonna live forever, you're probably gonna get murdered somehow. So, in my opinion.
Are you giving up?
I'm probably giving up. I don't have my imaginative day today.
But here's another imaginative question from Enigma that's not depressing. This goes into our superpower thing. If you were supervillains, What would be your first evil plan, and how would you stop your opposition with only what you have in your surrounding area? Oh no. Why do you always have to add these caveats to ruin our fun?
I mean, first of all, who says that I am not a supervillain? That first part of my evil plan is not this podcast, and I stop people with these new fantastic glasses I have. You better deal with it.
I have water, and I'm gonna contaminate
it. How much did you pay for those? How much did you pay for those, Max?
Thankfully, nothing. I got them from a friend on Monday.
Oh my god.
That's still too much. That was
because he gave me those because he had 2 pairs.
Why did he have 2? This raises more questions than answers. I want you to go up to the friend that gave them to you and say, hey, my American friend that you don't know is disappointed in you. But actually having the podcast would be an ingenious thing if you were a supervillain that had a hive mind power. So anyone who came here would just be become part of the hive mind without knowing. I'm going to join in this plan. So supervillain duo.
What do you think why I'm so eager to get Barack Obama?
He's not the president anymore.
Yeah, do you want to have Trump in our hive mind?
We can make him do good things if we did.
It's still Trump in our hive mind.
I mean, good point. I don't want to clean up that mess.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure if we added him to the hive mind, someone in the world would be throwing up very, very often. And if they try to foil us, well, firewall. There you go.
Yeah, good point.
What about you, Saber? What would be your supervillain plot? Would you be Gru from fucking Despicable Me and try to take the moon?
Gorls. Gorls. I want to make this thing around with the Gorls thing, the Gorls. Gorls gone wild.
Do you think they spell it like that in the script?
Gorls. Probably
Gorls.
Steve Carell doing this thing. Damn it! I want to make an edit with the Gorls gone wild. I'm look right now.
It's probably not, but
I'm going to do this thing. Girls.
Would the clip of when the girls take off their tops to show like the tits would be censored with the fluffy unicorn stuffed animal from the first Despicable Me movie?
Or just Gru's face.
No,
2 minions.
Oh yeah, that's better. You're right. Absolutely right. Gorls gone wild. I actually was learning about that. They made a game called like the Guy Game, and apparently one of the girls they had on there was underage, and they got like fucking shut down hard.
Oops.
Just serves them right. But okay, so I guess my evil plot. I'd trying to think what I'd do. Just it'd be like clever and ironic and stupid and all at the same time. I would flood the market with stupid memes to dumb down society.
I am the Glavgo Gigalata.
Exactly.
Just popping up on the computer as an undeletable pop-up. Oh God, no! That sound. But what if someone tried to foil you? How would you stop them?
I block them on the internet. Easy, done.
Oh, makes sense.
You know what? With the inclusion of the internet, a supervillain can always exist. There's your wisdom for today.
Yeah. So, Keyframe, what about you?
No, I'm just going to join in your podcast hive mind plot.
Oh,
that sounds
fair enough.
I mean, we made this podcast together, but if I had to do something solo, I probably do. The thing is, the hive mind sleeper agent kind of thing is just so good. I would vend at cons, and every time someone bought my art, they would just get infused with a nanobot. and then this would either be a great thing for my self-esteem or not. Just one day I click a button, and everyone who's bought my stuff becomes my army, and I see how very little people have bought my thing. But no, I've been at enough cons that I think I would have a decent-sized army.
It has all been steel in different disguises. Only steel bought your stuff.
Dude! But if Science Steel Rail was like one of my fucking sleeper agents for all the money he has, I would have a fucking benefactor for my evil plots. This is my smart idea, because the people who buy this, especially the shadow boxes at my cons, are the people who have money, like a lot of money. So I would just have, even if my army was concentrated, it's concentrated rich people.
The best
this is
kind
amazing.
of army.
You think that anyone from this podcast that we've gotten is rich?
So you think your infected people are better than my indoctrinated people?
Yes, the only person you have is Jesse.
Yes, we have a Jesse. Roar, smash!
Oh yeah, but what's the strength of that when you realize what happens after that quote? Ooh.
Well, in the first movie, it worked well.
We have a Jesse. Yeah, I have voice actors and directors from TV. I have the people who run the media. I am the world.
Oh boy.
I'm not going to continue. Let's move on to the last question before I go full evil villain. My Lucio shirt just becomes the Lucio Frog logo with angry eyebrows when I turn evil.
Good or bad? Denim Ninja asked, good or bad?
This was going to be my question. Good or bad, what is your most memorable experience at a restaurant? One time at the Cheesecake Factory, one of the waiters spilt an entire thing of ice water on me. Like one of those big pitchers.
So, but is this a good or a bad memory?
Probably good for Golden, but bad for me. I remember an interesting experience. I wouldn't say if it's good or bad, but it was certainly memorable of you nitpicking the Greek restaurant's like wait staff the entire time we were eating at a restaurant.
Well, story time, ladies and gentlemen. I am actually a professional hotel clerk. Like, I went through what's it called?
Apprenticeship.
Yes, I went through an apprenticeship, and before I did my studies, I made this, so I actually know what to do in a restaurant, and so it's a fun thing for me to look like. You suck at this, don't you?
But yeah, we went to this Greek Italian place, and we went there before, mind you, and it was a good experience before.
The food is good.
But something happened in between, like, the months.
I believe they even had an English menu back then, didn't they?
They had an English menu when I first went there.
And the waiters were able to speak English, yeah.
Yeah, but we go there and we're like, hey, can we have the English menu? And they're like, no English menu. And I'm like, oh, okay. But then it just got worse with ANY nitpicking everything. Yeah. He didn't say it to the waiters. He was saying it under his breath to me while we were eating.
No, they try to do good service, white shirt, bow tie, everything, but you just felt that they had no idea why or what they were doing. Like the kind of stuff like once you're more than halfway through your meal, they come by and ask if everything is okay. You know, the thing you are supposed to do after the first 2 bites in case something is not okay.
It's like, I don't know, let me ask the limp remains of my kebab. Are we doing good? But I always find it memorable when it's not even the waitstaff, it's the people with me. So that's a memorable experience. When we were, my most memorable thing, which to me is good, even though everyone else would say it's bad. It was BronyCon, and we were having our TF2 dinner. And it started raining.
Oh, this rain, baby.
This was thunderstorm rain, and
like streets underwater rain. No shitting you. Some of the streets were flooded, and police cars drove by to close off the street.
Yeah, it was Saturday of BronyCon last year, where it was just all thunderstorm and stuff, and it was raining super bad. Dr. Wolf and Anthony C. and all these people had to go to panels. me and Max had to get back to our hotel because we had to change into our costumes for lip sync battles because these were panels that were like right after one another. And Doppelstanger's having a panic attack because apparently he's afraid of thunderstorms. So that's a whole new layer of bad on this bean dip of awful. And then British Ninja is running around in the rain to find umbrellas. But so he finally comes back with the umbrellas. Everyone's getting ready. They're paying their checks. Me and Max's check got paid. And Max already had an umbrella because he's actually a prepared person. And he's like, we're going to head to the hotel so we can get our costumes. And we're walking back, and the rain lets up. And we didn't notice it for a bit. And then Max was looking around. He was like, wait, it's not raining anymore, is it? And I stuck my hand out. I was like, no, it's not. And we're halfway there. And we just are kind of like, they're going to be pissed when they get out of that restaurant. So there's my most memorable experience.
Yes, that's true, especially with British Ninja sacrificing himself, running through the rain for 20 minutes, trying to find umbrellas somewhere, and eventually buying the most expensive umbrellas in all of Baltimore. In the store next door.
Yeah, but what about you, Saber? What's a memorable experience?
I'm really easygoing with restaurants. I think the one that stands out to me the most was when I was a kid with my family, and we were at a Mexican restaurant, and this waiter slipped and dropped an entire tray of drinks on my dad, and his voice cracked when he reacted. He's like, "God damn it!" And I was like, "Oh my God, Dad's angry." And then in hindsight, I was like, "That's hilarious." That Dad's voice cracked. Oh, I vividly remember that, vividly. Good times.
Yeah, I guess I have to cheat for mine a little bit. It's in a restaurant. However, I was working there as a waiter.
Okay.
And it was Halloween, and we wanted to do a little bit of a show. So basically what we did was putting a little show, like when there was in the middle of the evening, Halloween night, like playing Michael Jackson's Thriller. Mm-hmm. And one of the other waiters, a girl, was basically up on the bar dancing there. And then I came in with vampire makeup, a long coat and everything, and we started to dance a slimmed down version of Thriller on the bar.
This doesn't sound like it's going to end well.
No, it did. It did end well. It was actually pretty fun.
Oh, I wanted someone to break a leg.
No. We don't do this, Key. This is only you who does this kind of stuff and falls off.
Look, at least I fell on something that you're supposed to stand on, not a bar.
Yeah.
But should we do one more question?
I have another one from Jonathan Marks.
Okay.
What's your favorite episode of Dexter's Lab?
Ooh, Ego Trip. Maybe not.
Anything that's not from when it got revived.
Yeah, that was weird. I like the one. Oh gosh, I forget the episode, but it was basically the finale for the first season with the exchange student from Japan, and there's that monster.
And they have the giant mechs.
Yeah, I love that episode. It was my favorite episode as a kid of anything. I loved it. Just the combination of the Avenger, the Justice League kind of thing, and the monkey and Mandark. It was just great. I loved it. I adored it.
My thing is that when it came to Dexter's Lab, I liked Dexter's Lab perfectly fine, but I was always more of a fan of the little in-between shows like Dial M for Monkey and the Super Friends parody and stuff, mostly because the Van Halen 4 is still one of the best characters. But my favorite Dexter's Lab short was actually a Pink Panther parody where it was Dexter was blue and Dee Dee was pink, and they were, I think, painting the lab or something. And I always love homages to old cartoons like that, and they did it really well. Though my favorite moment from Dexter, which you only appreciate more when you're older and you actually understand it, was when he was getting a new voice for the computer, and it was this sexy girl voice, and he had to go take a cold shower. Dude, I've never felt more related to a character before. Damn voices. But yeah, so that's my answer. And you probably never watched Dexter because you don't have Cartoon Network.
I just wanted to say, so when it comes to Dexter's Lab and the wide variety of episodes to pick from with the characters and stuff, I recall watching it occasionally because it was actually running in Germany, but I never really watched it and I don't have any memories. I mean, I hope that I hope this doesn't make you guys feel too bad.
I have to be honest with you, Max. It makes me feel kind of awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The meme has seen on this live stream and talk about random crap. It's time for AWKWARDCast. Random guests and funny gags. It's the AWKWARDCast. Artists and analysis. You do not want to miss the AWKWARDCast.